Hi, everyone. This is Emily, and today we're going to focus deeply on a very important skill for English learners: speaking without unnecessary pauses, speaking smoothly, and sounding confident while doing so. Many learners struggle because their mind races ahead of their words. They pause too much, they get stuck trying to translate, and ultimately, their speech becomes fragmented. The good news is that speaking fluently is not magic. It is a skill you can build step by step through techniques, exercises, and consistent practice. Over the next hour, or however long you spend reading or listening to this text, you're going to immerse yourself in practical strategies, mindset shifts, and exercises that will train your brain and your mouth to work together seamlessly, reducing hesitation and building natural flow. Let's start by talking about the most common causes of pauses in speech. Understanding the reasons is crucial, because only when you know why it happens can you address it effectively. The first reason is lack of confidence. When learners are unsure about their English skills, their brain slows down because it wants to avoid making mistakes. This leads to long pauses as you think, "Is this correct?" Or, "Should I say it this way?" By the time you decide, the conversation has often moved on. Confidence is not about knowing every word perfectly. It's about being comfortable communicating even with mistakes. The second major reason is vocabulary gaps. When you don't have the right word, your brain has to search, which creates pauses. Vocabulary is not just a collection of words. It's a set of tools you can pull out instantly. Memorizing words in isolation is less effective than memorizing phrases and expressions. For example, instead of just memorizing the word opinion, learn "in my opinion" or "I believe that." Phrases allow your brain to produce speech in chunks, which is faster and more fluid than assembling sentences word by word. A third reason is overthinking. Many learners translate from their native language while speaking. English structures differ from other languages, and translating slows you down, causing hesitation. The solution is to start thinking in English. Describe what you see, narrate your actions, or even talk to yourself about your day. For example, you might say, "I'm making coffee now, the sun is shining outside, I feel happy." These simple sentences, practiced consistently, train your brain to form thoughts directly in English rather than translating. Nervousness and pressure also play a significant role. Anxiety triggers a fight-or-flight response, which slows cognitive processing. When speaking with native speakers or in high-stakes situations, learners often freeze or pause excessively. The antidote is regular practice, breathing exercises, and focusing on the goal of communication rather than perfection. The more familiar you are with speaking in English, the less the anxiety affects your fluency. Now, let's move to practical techniques to reduce pauses. The first is thinking in English, as we discussed. This is the foundation of fluent speech. Narrate your daily activities, describe your environment, and tell small stories to yourself. For instance, if you're making breakfast, say aloud, "I am cracking eggs. I put butter on the pan. The aroma smells good." Over time, your brain builds a direct link between thought and English words. Filler words are another useful tool. Native speakers use words like, "well, you know, actually, I mean," and so to maintain flow while thinking. Instead of pausing, say, "Well, I think this is a good idea." Or, "I really like that movie." Fillers prevent awkward silence and keep your speech sounding natural. Shadowing is a highly effective technique. Listen to a native speaker and repeat immediately, like an echo. Use podcasts, movies, or YouTube videos. Pay attention not only to the words, but to rhythm, intonation, and stress. Shadowing trains your brain and mouth to work together, producing speech quickly and naturally. Even 10 minutes a day can produce noticeable improvements in fluency. It's important not to aim for perfection. Many learners pause because they fear mistakes. Real conversations are about communication, not accuracy. If you forget a word, explain it differently rather than stopping. For example, if you forget refrigerator, you can say, "the machine that keeps food cold." This approach keeps your speech moving and maintains fluency. Vocabulary expansion is another critical component. Learn phrases and sentence patterns, not just single words. Phrases like, I agree with you, that's interesting, or I'm not sure, but allow for rapid retrieval and fluid speech. Active listening is key here. Notice how native speakers form sentences, how they connect ideas, and how they use intonation. This helps your brain anticipate language patterns and respond naturally. Conversation anticipation exercises can dramatically improve fluency. While listening, try to predict the next word or phrase. For example, if someone says, I'm planning to go to, you might anticipate the park or the store. This trains your brain to respond faster, reducing hesitation. Imitation is another powerful strategy. Choose a speaker you admire and copy their rhythm, stress, and pronunciation. This is not about becoming them, but about internalizing natural patterns. The more exposure you have to authentic English, the more your own speech will adopt smooth, confident flow. Micro practices throughout the day are extremely effective. Speak aloud while cooking, walking, or even commuting. Describe your surroundings, retell small stories, or summarize your plans. Daily habits like this turn English speaking into a natural routine and reduce the mental effort required, decreasing pauses. The physical side of speech is often overlooked. Tension in your jaw, tongue, or shoulders can restrict natural flow. Relax your body, smile while talking, and move your hands naturally. Physical relaxation signals your brain that speaking is safe, supporting fluency. Confidence grows from consistent practice. Record yourself, notice improvements, and celebrate small wins. Fluency is built gradually, not instantly. Mistakes indicate progress. They mean you are trying, experimenting, and learning. Visualization enhances fluency. Imagine yourself speaking confidently in a conversation, responding without hesitation. Mental rehearsal primes your brain for real interactions, making natural speech more likely. Practical exercises include the 1-minute speaking challenge. Pick a topic and speak without stopping for 1 minute. If necessary, start with 30 seconds. Story retelling. Listen to a short story and retell it in your own words. Speed conversation practice. Engage in quick dialogues with friends or practice speaking to yourself, using speech-to-text apps for instant feedback. Mindset shifts are essential. Accept mistakes, focus on communication over perfection, and speak with confidence and energy. Your audience cares about understanding your message, not flawless grammar. Advanced techniques include contextual thinking, storytelling, chunking language, and rapid response training. Instead of constructing sentences word by word, form full ideas or images in English. Structure your speech as stories to create momentum. Learn language chunks to reduce cognitive load and increase speed. Practice rapid responses to build conversational agility. Role-playing simulates real-life situations like ordering food or asking directions. Speak aloud, even alone, to create mental templates. Immersion is crucial. Surround yourself with English through media, conversations, and reading. This exposure trains your brain to produce language naturally without translating. Self-correction in real time is a skill. Notice mistakes, but keep speaking. Adjust naturally within sentences to maintain flow. Breathing, rhythm, and intonation also matter. Match recordings of native speakers to train your natural speech patterns. Mental rehearsal before conversations primes your brain for smooth responses. Visualize potential dialogues and phrases. Integration into daily life. Narrate actions, label objects, or describe commutes. Consistent practice transforms English into a habit, reducing pauses automatically. Emotional engagement helps speech flow. Speak about topics you care about. Emotionally charged content reduces hesitation and creates natural momentum. Extended conversation practice is essential. Pick topics you enjoy and speak for 3 to 5 minutes continuously. Gradually extend duration. Peer practice and feedback enhance real-world fluency. Journaling aloud combines reflection with speech, reinforcing confidence and flow. By layering these strategies, awareness of pauses, thinking in English, fillers, shadowing, phrase learning, anticipation, imitation, micro practices, physical relaxation, confidence building, visualization, exercises, mindset shifts, contextual thinking, storytelling, chunking, role playing, immersion, self correction, rhythm practice, mental rehearsal, integration, emotional engagement, extended practice, peer feedback, and journaling, you can build a strong foundation for speaking without pauses. Fluency is a journey. Celebrate every moment you speak without hesitation. Be patient, consistent, and compassionate with yourself. Each word, sentence, and conversation adds a brick to your fluency. Your English voice is unique, and the world deserves to hear it. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Keep speaking, keep practicing, and enjoy every step. Don't forget to subscribe to Daily English Talk for more tips, exercises, and strategies to speak English confidently and smoothly. Share your progress, keep building your fluency, and let your voice shine every day. Now that we have explored the foundational techniques, mindset shifts, and practical exercises for speaking English without pausing, it's time to take your skills even further. In this part, we'll focus on advanced fluency strategies, integrating English deeply into daily life, and creating a natural, confident speaking style that feels effortless. One of the most effective ways to advance fluency is through contextual thinking. Instead of forming sentences word by word, visualize entire situations and describe them in English. For example, imagine you are walking in a park. Instead of thinking, I see a dog, expand the thought, I see a small brown dog running across the green grass. Its tail is wagging, and it looks very happy. There is a boy throwing a ball, and the dog runs to catch it. By forming complete mental pictures, your brain generates more fluent sentences naturally, reducing pauses. Storytelling is another advanced technique. Humans naturally connect with stories, and speaking in narrative form makes your language flow. You can start with your own experiences or imaginary scenarios. For instance, recount a recent event. Yesterday, I decided to try a new recipe. I went to the market, chose fresh vegetables, and tried to cook something I had never made before. At first, it was challenging, but in the end, it turned out delicious. Structuring your speech in a story format gives momentum, helping you continue speaking without interruption. Language chunking is a critical skill. Instead of forming sentences word by word, learn common expressions and phrases you can retrieve instantly. For example, instead of, I am going to the store to buy milk, use the chunk, I'm going to the store to get milk. Chunks like these reduce cognitive load and make your speech faster and more natural. Start with everyday phrases, then expand to topic-specific chunks for work, travel, or hobbies. Rapid response practice trains your brain to speak quickly under time pressure. Set a timer and answer questions on the spot, without pausing to think. You can do this alone, with a friend, or using online prompts. The goal is not perfection. It's fast thinking and speaking. Over time, this builds the ability to respond naturally in conversations, minimizing hesitation. Role-playing is essential for practical fluency. Act out common situations, ordering food, giving directions, making small talk, or negotiating. Speak out loud and respond as naturally as possible. Even practicing alone can be powerful if you imagine realistic conversations. These rehearsals create mental templates your brain can access effortlessly, improving confidence and speed. Immersion in English is another advanced strategy. Surround yourself with English through media, reading, speaking, and listening. Watch TV shows, listen to podcasts, read articles aloud, and engage in conversations with native speakers or online partners. The key is consistency. The more your brain processes English in diverse contexts, the easier it becomes to generate speech automatically, reducing pauses caused by mental translation. Self-correction in real time is a skill to practice. When you make a mistake, correct it naturally in the flow of speech rather than stopping. For example, I went to the gym yesterday. This keeps your conversation moving and shows fluency even when minor errors occur. Over time, self-correction becomes seamless, further reducing hesitation. Breathing, rhythm, and intonation are often overlooked but critical for smooth speech. Practice speaking along with recordings, matching the pace, stress, and intonation of native speakers. This trains your body to produce speech naturally, syncing your brain and mouth for fluent output. Even subtle adjustments like pausing slightly at natural breaks, emphasizing keywords, or lowering your voice at the end of a sentence can create a smoother, more confident impression. Mental rehearsal before conversations can dramatically reduce hesitation. Visualize scenarios, anticipate potential questions, and mentally practice your responses. This primes your brain to perform in real time, reducing pauses and increasing confidence. Pair mental rehearsal with visualization exercises. Imagine yourself speaking clearly, naturally, and with energy, and notice how your body relaxes as you do so. Integration of English into daily routines is crucial. Label objects in your home, narrate your activities, or describe your commute. For instance, as you make coffee, speak aloud, "I'm boiling water. I'm adding coffee to the cup. I'm stirring slowly to mix it all together." These micro practices reinforce continuous English thinking, turning it into a habit rather than a conscious effort. The more automatic English becomes in your brain, the fewer pauses will occur. Emotional engagement significantly enhances fluency. Speak about topics that matter to you, whether hobbies, interests, or personal experiences. Emotionally relevant speech flows naturally, reducing cognitive load and hesitation. For instance, describing your favorite sport with excitement or telling a funny story with expressive gestures engages your brain and vocal cords in a way that automatic routines cannot. The extended conversation challenge is an excellent exercise for fluency. Choose a topic you enjoy, such as movies, music, or travel, and speak continuously for 3 to 5 minutes. Don't worry about mistakes. Focus on flow and expression. Gradually extend the duration to 10 minutes or more. This develops stamina in speech and trains your brain to maintain ideas without pausing. Peer practice and feedback accelerate improvement. Speak with friends, online partners, or in language exchange groups. Ask for gentle feedback on fluency and flow rather than grammar. Real conversations introduce unpredictability, forcing your brain to think quickly and respond naturally, which is precisely what reduces pauses. Journaling aloud is another powerful tool. Instead of writing, speak your diary entries daily. Describe your day, thoughts, and plans. This merges reflection with spoken language practice, reinforcing fluency, vocabulary recall, and confidence. Over time, you'll notice that your brain retrieves words more quickly and sentences form effortlessly. Combining these advanced techniques creates layered fluency. Awareness of pauses, thinking in English using fillers, shadowing, learning phrases, anticipation, imitation, micro practices, physical relaxation, confidence building, visualization, storytelling, chunking, role-playing, immersion, self-correction, rhythm training, mental rehearsal, integration into daily life, emotional engagement, extended practice, peer feedback, and journaling. All of these elements work together to create smooth, natural speech. Fluency is a journey, not a destination. Celebrate every moment you speak without pausing. Every word, sentence, and conversation adds another layer to your skill. Be patient and consistent, and allow mistakes to be proof of progress. Each step is growth, and every practice session builds your confidence and automaticity. Finally, remember that your English voice is unique, and the world deserves to hear it. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and enjoy the journey of building fluent, confident English. Don't forget to subscribe to Daily English Talk for more strategies, exercises, and tips to speak English smoothly. Share your progress, Continue practicing daily and let your voice shine in every conversation.